The city of Montreal, a metropolis of 4 million people regarded as one of the most beautiful cities in North America, a city known for its diversity and its rich culture. A city located in one of the richest countries of the world, Canada, a country that claims to uphold the UN's Universal Declarations of Human Rights and Freedoms. And yet a problem persists. A problem violating a dozen articles of that same declaration. Homelessness, a social issue affecting thousands in our city. 50% of homeless people visit the emergency room, way higher than the general population. In addition, 22% of them spend the night on the street every night. Everyone has a different idea of homelessness. So what is it?
Well, basically, it's someone who doesn't have a home to go to.
People that don't have enough money to buy food, so they just live on the streets and they just can't afford anything.
When your house doesn't have a roof.
People that don't have a home, they're unfortunately in a bad situation. You know, they lost their home either due to COVID, due to drugs, due to problems at home.
Lack of options.
It's like, you're a student. Yeah. Why? You go to school, right? I do not have a home. Simply that makes me homeless, you know?
Homelessness, by definition, is the situation of an individual without permanent, safe, or stable housing, nor the means to acquire for it. But it is also so much more.
Like say, oh, where do you sleep at night? It's not just all about where I sleep at night, you know? I don't have a place to keep things safe. I don't have a place to accumulate my possessions or just, you know, to rest, to clean, to cook, you know, and also the infamous famous address.
As part of our project, we chose to interview some students, some teachers, our siblings, and Welfare Avenue, a soon-to-be registered nonprofit organization.
Welfare is the well-being and happiness of others. Our goal for Welfare Avenue is to basically one, feed everyone that needs help. So those that are insecure with that don't have food, you know, like we're there to feed them every weekend, supply them with toiletries, hygiene products. We care a lot about also just, you know, giving them human interaction, talking with them, because they don't get much of that.
In 2018, there were reported to have been 3,100 homeless people in Montreal. Since the pandemic started, that number has been rumored to have doubled.
I believe before the pandemic was around 2,600, 3,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's what we found too. It was about 3,100.
Yeah, 3,100, exactly. And I believe it has doubled.
The number of homeless has roughly doubled to 6,000 in the past 6 months.
Because of the pandemic, people lost their jobs. You know, not everyone was able to apply for CERB or EI, which is like the benefits that people get for losing their job due to the pandemic. In fact, during during winter, some indigenous homeless man actually decided to, you know, he couldn't find shelter, and so he slept in a porta potty, and the next day he passed away because it was too cold.
Earlier this month, Raphael Andre's body was found not far from the open door shelter where he was a regular. He'd been forced to leave the shelter at night during curfew. His death prompted a court to rule that Quebec's overnight curfew should not apply to the homeless.
Speaking of COVID, the curfew made it very difficult on the homeless population, leading to the death of a man. The government has done the opposite of contributing to aiding the situation.
Say you cannot give a ticket to somebody who is saying that he's an homeless. You may have some people that will pretend to be an homeless.
The government isn't helping them in the right way and doing things actually opposite to helping them, I would say. So I think giving more grants or subsidies to organizations would be definitely a big help. Again, giving them more space, investing in more shelters, because the shelters that they're giving actually don't fit everyone sometimes, and sometimes homeless people are left out.
Madame Miu, former worker in a homeless shelter, says the governments must invest more in social programs that give access to homeless people to have the services they need. Day centers with social workers, centers where they can sleep, wash themselves and their clothes are all stuff the government must subsidize. As of right now, the government is not doing enough.
It is true, however, the nonprofit organizations receive tax breaks and subsidies from the government, but it doesn't compensate enough. In Montreal, there are roughly 37 shelters providing around 1,400 beds. It is important to keep in mind, however, that there are over 3,000 people that are homeless in Montreal at any given time.
Given the government is not doing enough, citizens must do their part.
Money will help to get students involved. They can be a cook, volunteer.
Madame Miu says that acknowledging them when you cross their path is already a lot. A smile, a hello, have a good day. If you can spare a buck, why not? If you get to know them a little bit, then you can pinpoint a little more about what they need. A coffee, a snack. But a smile and a hello goes a long way.
We felt inspired to do something special for a homeless man near our school. And we received funding from the administration and help from teachers to help give back by providing this kind soul with essential amenities such as clothes and hygiene products.
While speaking with Joseph, we discussed whether or not homelessness is a choice. So is it?
I think it's pretty safe to say that no one chooses to be homeless and have those poor life standards. I think as human beings, we all have aspirations and expectations of ourselves that go beyond being homeless. But at the same time, we can never tell where our current path is going to take us.
It can be, but most of the time it isn't.
Is homelessness a choice? It can be a choice, in my opinion.
I would say homelessness is a choice for some individuals, perhaps not for others. I think some people choose to be homeless and live that type of life, whereas others may have come to that point through some fault of their own and a confluence of various circumstances. So I think it depends on the individual's situation.
In my opinion, homelessness is not a choice. Becoming homeless is not a choice. No one could foreshadow the future, what's going to happen financially or just with your life in general. But to stay homeless, I think that is a choice.
Additionally, we took to Instagram to ask our followers if homelessness was a choice. We got about 100 replies, with 79% of them saying it wasn't a choice.
This is what Joseph had to say.
Of course it's a fucking choice. Everything in life's a choice. That's why I hate the Quebecois expression, il n'y a pas de choix. Fuck off. There's always a choix, man. I put a gun to your head and say, give me all your money, kid. You got a choice.
Yeah, you can say no.
To fucking eat a bullet or to give him the goddamn money, man. You're making the last word. Always, 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 you know? So of course there's bad things and good things in life that motivate our decisions.
Yeah.
Right? Influence our decisions in all kinds of different ways. Yeah. But bottom line is we make that decision, you know?
Yeah. Furthermore, Joseph told us his story, his reason to why he remains on the street.
Like if I were to go in an apartment, because I did have a few chances and I fucked it up, not on purpose, but almost subconsciously on purpose. I can't fucking sit in an apartment, guy, and have a room, you know what I mean? Yeah. My kid is just supposed to fucking be there. You know what I mean? So if he can't be there, I can't fucking be there either. Yeah. It's kind of like I'm punishing myself, but it's also like an ultimate distraction as well. You know? Like the street life is like minute by minute, hour by hour kind of thing.
You don't have time to think about
it. Exactly. It's the ultimate distraction.
So like your problems that you face in your personal life and emotionally become irrelevant when you face problems of survival.
Big time, guy. Big time. I could not have put it better words myself. And that's really a little bit in my situation, you know? I know eventually I'm gonna have to grow a set of balls and just fucking get a place and cry my fucking face off.
We're models, trainers, and actors.
That might be what I have to do, bro, but I'm not ready to do it yet, you know? So it's gonna get there when it gets there, you know?
In conclusion, this documentary was an opportunity to learn and to grow, to place emphasis on an issue that we all see and that we all ignore. It was a chance to do something special, a chance to give back. And both of us are forever changed by our work.
Does it make me less of a man or less of a human that I have no home? Because I'm homeless, right?
Joseph, the homeless guy we chose to interview, broke a skateboard belonging to his son, a son that he seldom sees. We wanted to get him a new one, but we didn't find time to include it in the documentary. Finally, we would like to offer a special thanks to Madame de Mers and Mr. Basquiat for funding, as well as Ms. Heiss and her daughter Mia for their contributions, and the contributions of all the interviewees. Thank you to Steal from Welfare Avenue. Here's the contact info to their organization, an organization that constantly gives back to the homeless.
Homelessness is an issue we encounter day by day, yet pay little to no attention to. Then who are we as human beings if we ignore the suffering of others? We sometimes think that poverty is only being hungry, naked, and homeless. The poverty of being unwanted, unloved, uncared, and rejected by society is the greatest problem. As Albert Einstein once said, the world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing. Next time you come into contact with a homeless person, remember that kindness is not a weakness.